interpreter.
Is there one involved?
Yes.
So I do have to allow him to interpret.
Yes.
Please report, my lady.
Yes, Mr.
I'm here for the state in this matter together with my colleagues, Mrs. Kutsia and Mr. Matenjwa. My lady, might I just say at the outset that I apologize for not introducing ourselves. We got hijacked in the corridors.
Stop in this courtroom, it's very distracting.
Sorry, my lady. So I do apologize. We are on our way to introduce ourselves to you.
Yes, no, that's fine. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Downer. I understand what happened.
Together with Mr. Skakane, we appear for Mr. Zuma.
Thank you.
Ms. Adhikari and I appear on behalf of the second accused. I also apologise, we have met but haven't appeared before.
No, that's fine. Thank you, Mr.
My lady, might I just lead with some introductory remarks. Today is the first day of the criminal trial set down provisionally to determine the way forward after the result of the permanent stay applications. So we had the result of the permanent stay applications last week, where this court decided that both applications were declined or refused. So therefore, notionally, we can continue with the trial. My lady, as we have said from the beginning, from the state side, when this matter was put down on the High Court roll, we said from the beginning the state is ready for trial, and that remains the case. So we're ready to set a trial date. To that end, to open the batting, as it were, we suggested by correspondence to our learned friends yesterday that we could start thinking of the first available date which is open to this court on this court roll, which is in April, which is in fact Monday the 13th of April, which is the second term, the first day of the second term next year. So we remain ready. And of course, there are a number of practical things which prevent us proceeding immediately to that date. The first is that we have been informed that there will be applications for leave to appeal on the part of the accused. My learned friends will bring applications to overturn the permanent stay judgment, and to that end, that is a process which has to take place going forward. So we have to take that into account. We can tell your ladyship now that the state obviously will be opposing such applications because we don't think that they should be brought now. They're matters which can be determined by the trial court, as has often been told, my learned friends, by various courts, from this court through to the SCA and up to the Constitutional Court.
Obviously, we can't dictate the outcome of that at this stage of proceedings.
Absolutely, my lady. So, and of course, we don't think that there are reasonable prospects of success as well, apart from it being appropriate. But that my learned friends and us indeed are bound to adhere to the rules of court relating to the prosecution of that application for leave to appeal. And we have discussed these issues with the Judge President, and we've determined and agreed on a timetable of dates. My learned friends must file, according to the rules of court, by the 1st of November 2019. That's 15 days after Friday's date last. And they've undertaken to do so. They'll adhere to the rules of court. Then, obviously, there has to be application for leave to appeal to the full court. And we've agreed that in accordance with the rules, it has to be leave sought from the full court. The JP has undertaken to constitute the full court for that matter. And we, from our side, we're all available, and my counsel arguing for the state in that matter, which is a sort of a hybrid civil and criminal matter. Counsel for the state are available on the 22nd of November. So papers to go in on the 1st. The matter will be heard before the full court relating to application for leave to appeal the permanent stay judgment. And for that matter, your ladyship need not be concerned with that, because that is not a criminal trial date. The accused need not be here, need not be present. It's an application done on papers before the full court. But we've all agreed, as some of us will be parties to that will be the 22nd of November. Then, my lady, there will be obviously time for the full court to consider its verdict. to deliberate, and at some stage after the 22nd of November, we hope soon, the full court will give its judgment. We would very much like then to set a pre-trial date, the next date for the criminal trial, to accommodate that process. And we all thought in chambers, and we agreed, my lady, that the best date for the continuation of the pre-trial process would be the 4th of February 2020. Tuesday, the 4th of February 2020. By that time, depending on the outcome of the application for leave to appeal, my learned friends would have considered their position and made whatever further applications they consider necessary to whatever courts they consider necessary, whether it be the SCA or the Concord or both. And so by the 4th of February, we will have a good idea as to where we are. And the state is still pushing for the earliest possible trial date that could accommodate everyone after that date. And obviously we can't determine that now. We would very much like it to be in April 2020. It will be determined at the next pre-trial on the 4th of February whether that date is achievable. My lady, what we also agreed upon and what we undertook to do from the state side is now to set in motion immediately a formal process of pre-trial minutes and negotiations and meetings between us so that we can sort out the practical issues of docket and of availability of witnesses, how many admissions, so as to get some idea of how long the trial is going to run and for how long it must be set down for. And my lady, just so that I put it on record also, we have today handed over an updated version of our forensic report relating to the criminal case. That is just the old report in a new form, a more user-friendly form with some minor adjustments and some other adjustments. But my learned friends now are in possession of that electronically. We've already handed it, I think, to the Tali's representatives, and I think we're about to do so in respect of Mr. Zuma. So in effect, the defence from now have the full docket, and they can, if they're so minded, they can commence their preparation for the trial if they haven't done so already. So they have everything in our view that they need to prepare for the trial.
Adjourn to the 4th of February. The other aspects concerning the leave to appeal does not really concern this court, whilst it does determine the way forward in terms of this matter. Yes.
Just for the process going forward, the state is really serious on getting this trial running as soon as practically possible, which is at the earliest possible date next year. And as I said, the court can accommodate us from April. The date obviously will be determined as we go forward.
Thank you, Mr. Dunn.
Just one last thing,
Yes.
my lady. You'll see that there's only one accused person here before court, and that is Mr. Zuma. We had by arrangement determined that the representative for Talis need not be present today. We are going to initiate a process now by which we determine that the representative for Talis in the pre-trial process going forward will be present. And the identity of that person, depending on the negotiations between us. Your ladyship will be aware that representative is him or herself, not an accused person, merely representing the corporate entity Talis. So that is also a process which we'll manage going forward. I think that's all. Yes, yeah. So from my side, I then formally request that the matter be adjourned, be postponed to the 4th of February 2020 for a further pre-trial.
Thank you very much, Mr. Downer. Mr. Ntenjwa?
My lady, I apologize that when I introduced myself, I didn't apologize for not appearing, for not introducing ourselves. Just for the record, Mr. Zuma has been ready to face this trial for over 14 years. We are heartened to know that the state is finally ready to start the trial and that we can start formally dealing with the issues that relate to the trial. But as Mr. Downer has indicated, Mr. Zuma elects to exercise the full extent of his constitutional rights, which includes the right to appeal an unfavorable decision of the, we're not sure, the civil court in the permanent stay. We agree with Mr. Downer on the dates to which this matter should be postponed, which is the 4th of February next year. We confirm...
That says a holding date, or
As
a
a holding date.
pre-trial date.
Yes. We confirm receipt of an electronic in a memoristic forensic report. We would like a hard copy of that. If the state could provide us with a hard copy.
Obviously, you'll make that request outside. Yes.
We are making it before the court, so the court knows that's the request we are going to be making to NPA. Other than that, my lady, again, for over 14 years, finally, the state is ready.
Thank you. Mr. Kutsia.
Yes, the second accused confirms the date of the 4th of February 2020 as the next holding date. Perhaps it's just worth placing on record that the second accused confirmed that which Mr. Downer has indicated to be subject to the wrinkle that we don't have firm instructions whether to apply for leave to appeal, if so, to which court, and if so, on what issues. And we would disagree with Mr. Downer when he suggests that the state have indicated to us that the permanent stay that we had brought ought to be dealt with the trial court in respect of our second basket of relief, which related to the constitutionality of the National Director of Public Prosecutions, Abrams' decision to prosecute, which is not something that the trial court could ever be seized with, properly so called. As far as the identity of the second accused representative who would appear in court, Mr. Downer and I have made arrangements, and that will be sorted out before the next appearance on the 4th of February 2020, and we confirm that any application for leave to appeal to this court will be filed by the 1st of November, and Ms. Adhikari and I are available to argue that application on the 22nd of November this year. So please,
Do you wish to respond at all, Mr. Downer?
Nothing further.
Nothing further. Well, it is by agreement between the parties that this matter, while both parties are ready, at least two of the parties are ready at this point to proceed, there is an agreement that the matter be adjourned as a holding date to the 4th of February next year. So, Mr. Zuma, your case, and I'm sure you understand fully, is now being adjourned to the 4th of February 2020 as a holding date. In the interim, all the other process that have been discussed will take place. Thank you. Court will rise.